Hey guys, Vaughn here with the Vaughnster vlog. Hello. And I am making some food that we are going to be meal prepping out for the rest of not just the week, but like we're going to keep some of it fresh in leftover containers in the fridge, but then we're also vacuum sealing some of it to freeze. That way we have, prepped meals. Basically, it's a homemade TV dinner. So I have 3 bags of Great Value brand fine green beans, which I'm not going to lie, sounds kind of passive aggressive. I have 3 cups of white rice cooking in here. I know brown rice is better for you, but quite frankly, we just don't enjoy eating it as much as we do white rice, and we're looking for something that's sustainable. If we feel constantly kind of like, ugh, about what we're eating, we're not going to stick to it. And then in the oven at 375 degrees, we have, I'll show them in a sec, but we have some bratwursts. And I'm just getting it cooked up. We cook the bratwursts for 20 minutes in the oven, then flip them and cook them for another 20 to 30 minutes until they're, cooked through. And then I'm going to show y'all how I prep these up. Also, in with the green beans, I have salt, pepper, and a whole bunch of minced garlic. So, because that's how we roll around here. So these are the brats pulled out of the oven. Nice and brown. We like the cheddar filled brats because, well, cheese. So the setup that I have going on here, and these meal prep containers that I'm using will be linked down in the video description. I really, really like them, and they vacuum seal pretty well. And reusable, so that's always a bonus. So the key to this is weighing everything, because otherwise it's all just guesswork. So I've linked down to a food scale as well. You can get them for pretty affordably. And I'm just coming through and serving up 100 grams of rice, which according to MyFitnessPal is about 130 calories. And I cook it with a dashi powder pouch, which gives it a little bit of flavor. You could also use like bouillon or chicken stock or different things like that, but be sure to factor it into your final calorie count. So just adding a little bit, and then the next thing that I add, zero it back out, is 100 grams of green beans, which is a pretty generous serving, and with the oil factored in that I use for this, because I kind of factor in, like, I use like 2 tablespoons, and that splits it up between however many servings. I don't know, I did the math, and it's linked. You can follow me on MyFitnessPal if you want to be able to see my recipes and my daily log and like macros and stuff. But I have also, hopefully, future Vaughn, if you're editing this, which you should be, I've also put down in the video description the macros for like exactly what I've done here. But 100 grams of that, which is about 80 calories after the oil for the green beans, and then a bratwurst, which is 240 calories. And now if we're vacuum freezing this, or if we're that's pretty good rice, if we're freezing this, vacuum sealing, or just popping into the fridge, like if it's going to be reheated, I just leave it here like this. But you can see I have this open compartment, which is a great spot to put some fresh vegetables, some salad greens, some fresh fruit, but I do that after it's been frozen and then reheated, because I don't like microwaved lettuce. So, and then I just pop the lid on, and I leave it like this if this is how I'm going to be putting it into the fridge for us to eat over the next day or two. But if I'm going to be eating it maybe next week, what I do is I vacuum seal it. And here you can see we have a quite wide, again, links for all this stuff is down below so you can see the specific specs, because I don't know them off the top of my head. But we have our vacuum bags. And for doing this part, I do take the lid off because I want to be able to pull out as much air as possible. But you'll want enough of the bag that you can fit your meal inside of it. So And this is just one way of going about this. If I'm doing like a stir fry or something, I'll oftentimes just mix everything together into the bag. And then like, so whenever I'm doing spaghettis or I've even done soup like this, but I just seal it. I don't vacuum seal it. So we have that cut to size now. And I'm going to come in here with my vacuum sealer. Careful, that part's hot. They warn you, but it's worth rewarning. And I'm just going to get this nestled to where you don't want it too far over, because this chamber right here, this indentation, is where the vacuum like sucks. So I'm going to take that and push down. You want to click on both sides, and I'm just going to press seal to start, and that is going to, whenever the light goes off, I don't know if the camera's picking up on that, but light just went off, so opening that up. Check for bubbles. It looks like we have a good seal. So now I'm going to scooch that back just a bit. I've never once in my life had enough counter space, so you just kind of struggle along with it. So now we're going to come in, and you can see I gave myself way too much, but you can actually reuse these if you cut it a little long, and then you have your first seal line. You can use the bag again with a second seal line. So just something to be mindful of. So positioning this nice and flat and smooth. I'm going to push this back a little bit. Bring this down. And this is going to be a little loud. And I have it on normal and dry, so it'll suck good and hard and get as much air out as possible. And you click vac seal. You can see the bag starting to shrink. There it goes. There's a lot of air to pull out of this, so it can be a bit challenging. And then we're gonna, you kind of keep an eye on it. You don't let it pull as much as it wants to, because it will start to distort the container, but you just click seal yourself whenever you use your own judgment. And now we have a vacuum sealed TV dinner, basically. And so now whenever we want to heat this up, I will just cut a slit in the bag, take it out, and put a lid on it to keep it from exploding in the microwave. And this is ready for the freezer. It's always a good idea to label and date with like just a Sharpie or something, or if you want to reuse the bag, you can use a bit of masking tape right on that, and then go from there. Okay, so very rarely will all of the food that I've prepared actually line up in quantity. So I have way more rice and brats than I do green beans. So what I'm going to do here to add a little bit of diversity as well is just do the rice and brats in there, and then this one may be a salad and fruit section, or I may cook up some fresh vegetables, just whatever we have in the garden. So again, I like having those compartments there so we can have a little bit of like a tray lunch whenever we're eating. But so that's kind of, again, just how I do this. Now this right here could just be put into a vacuum bag because the brat is pretty well self-contained and the rice will do just fine. But just options. It's really good to know that you have them. So this is the bratwurst meal, which this is a little bit heavier calories, but with the brat, like if we'd used a chicken breast or something instead, the calories would be significantly lower. But for this entire meal, it's a little under 500 calories, which as far as diets go, like air quotes on that hard, because we really are looking for something sustainable. We're trying to treat our calories like a financial budget. Like we have so much to spend in a day. These are the things that we need to spend it on: carbs, protein, fat, etc. You know, let's be reasonable, you know, but let's plan for the future as well. So you can kind of plan your week out, plan your day out. Okay guys, so I did the breakdown and you can kind of see here, now these prices do not include the fruit, the oil, or the seasoning, or like the meal prep container. And also they are based on the region I'm in, which is Southwest Missouri. May 2021 if you're watching this in the future, and does not include sales tax. So you'll want to take those things into consideration, if you're budgeting in your area. Dog hair everywhere. So for me, it came up to $1.36 per meal before the fruit again, because for myself, I didn't know if I'd be in the future maybe picking raspberries out of the garden or having like radishes or something out of the garden. So, and also seasonally and regionally, the prices of fruit can vary so much, but for the most part, it's $1.36 per meal, which I think is awesome. For the bratwurst, it was 90 cents per brat, 260 calories. So I misspoke earlier. I think I said it was 240, but with 14 grams of protein, 21 grams of fat, and 3 grams of carbs. 100 grams of rice cost 10 cents. And that wasn't even like there's still some left over for doing the 15 servings that this made. 130 calories, 2.7, let's call it 3 grams of protein, less than half a gram of fat, and 28 carbs. Green beans, 30 calories, 1.2 grams of protein, 0 grams of fat, 6 grams of carbs, 36 cents on those frozen green beans. And then the oil, I did not factor up the price on the oil or the garlic actually, because you just get those by the gallon jug, or we do at least. So 30 calories worth of oil, 0 grams of protein, 3 grams of fat, 0 carbs. So that is the meal. And so, I mean, before fruit and even after fruit, because it was like 40 calories for all the strawberries and blueberries, less than 500 calories. It's super reasonable, I feel like. So, and also you could eat this 3 times a day and still be at 1,500 calories, which is quite on the low end. I've never been the kind of person to personally adhere to like a 1,200 calorie, like extremely low calorie count diet, because I don't feel like those are sustainable or even necessarily a good idea for everyone for in the long term. I think it's a good idea to, feed your body and to be active and to do, what you can. And I think this is a pretty good way of going about that. And it definitely beats eating fast food. So we're not striving for perfection, we're striving for improvement. So this is definitely an improvement over a Kurger Bing greasy burger and all that. So thanks guys for watching. If you have any suggestions for future recipes or requests, please let me know down in the comments, and we'll see y'all next time. So until then, keep on keeping on. Bye. I'm gonna go eat this.